Crypto's richest man is free. I'm of course referring to Changpeng Zhao, aka CZ, the co-founder and former CEO of Binance. And now that CZ is out, all eyes are on BNB, the cryptocurrency that he technically co-founded. And after months of grinding higher, CZ's return could be the catalyst that takes the BNB coin to new all-time highs. And that's why today we're going to bring you up to speed on everything BNB has been up to, see exactly where its price could be headed next, and look at just how big the BNB ecosystem could grow. Miss this? Miss out. I'll start by saying that nothing in this video is financial advice. It's purely educational content intended to inform you about BNB. And I'll also note that at the time of making this video, none of us on Team Coin Bureau hold BNB in our personal portfolios. And of course, this video is not sponsored in any way. It should go
without saying.
Now, if you happen to be curious about which cryptos we do hold, though, then join the Coin Bureau Club. It's where we share our crypto portfolios, provide daily altcoin alpha, do weekly reviews of promising small cap altcoins, which are voted on by our members, and answer your questions in the exclusive members Discord. The link will be down in the description. With all that said, the last time we covered BNB was over 2 years ago, so it's safe to say that a lot has happened since then. Thankfully, how BNB works hasn't changed that much, so you can refer to our first video over here if you're unfamiliar with the project. We'll also point out any changes along the way today. Now, to bring you up to speed, our last BNB review was in June 2022, and this was shortly after BNB rebranded from Binance Coin to BNB. The rebranding appears to have been done to try and decentralize the project to avoid regulatory scrutiny from the SEC, which was investigating Binance over BNB at the time. Unfortunately, this didn't work, as the SEC eventually sued Binance in June of 2023. And not surprisingly, one of the many allegations was that BNB was an unregistered security, analogous to an unregistered stock in Binance. Fortunately, the judge ruled in July this year that secondary sales of BNB were not securities. If this sounds familiar, that's because the judge in the SEC's case against Ripple basically made the same ruling about XRP in July of last year. The practical effect of this was it became possible for XRP to relist on certain US exchanges. And although this hasn't happened with BNB, the precedent for it has been set, so take note of that. Now, one surprising thing about the SEC's lawsuit against Binance is that it's still ongoing, even though Binance already settled with other US regulators. Whereas the potential for BNB to be listed on US exchanges is a tailwind, the SEC's ongoing case against Binance, well, that's a headwind, so also take note of that one. But back to 2022. In October of 2022, BNB's cross-chain bridge was exploited for $100 million. For context, BNB consisted of two chains, the BNB Beacon chain and the BNB Smart chain. Now, a hacker managed to trick the bridge between the two chains into minting extra BNB on the Smart chain. They then managed to swap $100 million of BNB for other cryptos before the Smart chain was eventually brought to a halt. The good news is that the Smart chain was subsequently hard forked and the issue that caused the exploit was fixed. The bad news, however, is that additional vulnerabilities have since been identified. Now, for example, Jump Crypto found another vulnerability in February 2023, and this suggests there still could be others. Not only that, but the fact that BNB is currently in the process of merging the Beacon chain with the Smart chain likewise opens the door to new vulnerabilities. Now, for what it's worth, so far the process has been going smoothly, and it could serve as another catalyst that takes BNB to new all-time highs. More on that in a moment. And by the way, if you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to smash that like button to let us know, and subscribe to the channel and ping the notification bell as well so you don't miss our next altcoin update. Anyways, back once again to 2022. Now in December, BNB surpassed Ethereum by wallet addresses. For reference, Ethereum had around 217 million wallet addresses and BNB had over 233 million. Today, Ethereum has over 283 million wallet addresses, but BNB has exploded higher to almost 473 million. Very impressive growth. And BNB's explosive growth is presumably why a governance proposal was tabled for Uniswap to expand its DEX to the Binance connected blockchain in January of 2023. What's interesting, though, is that this seems to have become a bit of a battle between uni whales, some of whom didn't want Uniswap to deploy on BNB. For instance, crypto VC firm A16Z put down over 15 million uni against the proposal. Ethereum infrastructure company Consensus responded by putting down over 7 million uni in favor of the proposal. In the end, the proposal was passed and the Uniswap DEX was deployed to BNB in March of 2023. What's fascinating, though, is that Uniswap's TVL on BNB has been stagnant since its launch. In fact, the same is true for the total value locked on BNB more generally, and this might have something to do with the regulatory crackdown on Binance's BUSD stablecoin in early 2023. Obviously, a lot of BUSD was on BNB. To refresh your memory, Paxos was ordered to wind down BUSD in February 2023, and BUSD's market cap subsequently fell from over 15 billion to essentially zero. Now, while there isn't a direct correlation with the decline in BNB's TVL per se, the relative absence of stablecoins on BNB seems to be holding it down. More on that shortly. Now, on a more positive note, BNB revealed a decentralized storage solution called Greenfield in February 2023. After multiple months of testing, its mainnet went live in October 2023. And this created a new dimension of demand for BNB and made it possible for BNB and other cryptos to further decentralize. Again, this wasn't enough to dissuade the SEC from suing Binance, which you'll recall happened in June 2023. And this made the news that BNB would be adding a panic feature to stop its blockchain that much more concerning. And many took it as a sign that the BNB chain could be in trouble because of this lawsuit. If that wasn't bad enough, the US Department of Justice revealed that it was concerned that a crackdown on Binance would result in a bank run that destroys the crypto industry. In other words, the DOJ wanted to crack down on Binance, but it was scared that it would do more harm than good. As most of you will no doubt know, Binance settled with the DOJ shortly afterwards, specifically in November 2023. And if you watched our summary of the settlement, you'll know that the reason why the settlement was so favorable was precisely because Binance was a systemically important crypto player. In case you didn't know, Binance paid a fine of $4.3 billion, which amounted to a bit of a slap on the wrist. The catch is that the slap on the wrist involved a very firm grip too, and as one of the conditions was to effectively allow US authorities to monitor the exchange, giving them unprecedented oversight. Even so, the settlement was extremely bullish for BNB, which had recently launched another crypto product that was OP-BNB, a layer 2 scaling solution on BNB that went live last September. Oddly enough, it seems that most BNB-related activity is now taking place on its layer 2. And that's because OP-BNB has almost 5 times more active wallets than BNB itself. That's 5.6 million versus around 1.2 million, in case you're wondering. What makes this odd is that the total value locked on OP-BNB is apparently less than 30 million, at least according to DeFi Llama. And this suggests that most OP-BNB users are doing things that are non-financial in nature. And this seems to be confirmed by DApp Radar, which notes DePIN and AI dApps as the most used. In any case, in December last year, BNB announced that it would be merging the BNB Beacon chain and the BNB Smart chain, something that's still ongoing. Officially, this was because the Beacon chain didn't provide any utility besides things like staking, which could be migrated to the Smart chain. Unofficially, though, this seems to be a continuation of BNB's efforts to decentralize. In this case, it looks like BNB is merging the beacon chain with the smart chain so that it can claim that the smart chain was when the crypto project actually began. And this is evident in BNB celebrating its 4-year anniversary this September. For those unaware, the BNB originally launched in April 2019, and the smart chain didn't launch until September 2020. Logically, this means that BNB is closer to being 5 years old than 4 years old. But from our perspective, omitting this fact is an attempt to avoid regulatory scrutiny. But we'll come back to that later, as well as BNB's roadmap for this merge. Now, in February this year, another blue-chip DeFi protocol from Ethereum expanded to BNB, and this was Aave, the decentralized lending and borrowing protocol, which we covered in a recent video. Top right, por favor. Anyways, even though Aave's growth on BNB has likewise been lackluster, its upcoming upgrade could change that. Now, in March this year, BNB added a third pillar to its ecosystem of products, the BNB Chain Layer 2, a roll-up-as-a-service solution that makes it possible to easily build and deploy Layer 2s on BNB. According to the Chain Layer 2 website, 3 additional Layer 2s have been added over the last 6 months. And then in April this year, CZ was sentenced to just 4 months in prison, a very bullish outcome given that the DOJ wanted him banged up for 3 years. CZ's release date was set for the 29th of September, which was just a couple of days ago. Now, if this release has resulted in a pump of BNB, you should view this with a little bit of suspicion. And that's because on-chain analysis conducted by Grey Wolf Analytics in June suggests that CZ controls as much as 64% of BNB's circulating supply. And this is possible given that 40% of BNB's initial supply went to Binance's founders, which of course includes CZ. On that note, it's possible that CZ's potentially large BNB holdings are a part of the reason why BNB hasn't been listed on US exchanges, despite the subsequent ruling that secondary sales of BNB were not securities. FYI, the SEC, well, they don't like it when lots of the supply of a coin or token is held by the entities that created it. Regardless, in August this year, yet another blue-chip DeFi protocol on Ethereum expanded to BNB. And this time it was Lido Finance, which bridged its liquid staked ETH token to BNB. Lo and behold, STETH also hasn't seen much adoption on BNB, with just 0.62 STETH bridged according to the BSC Scan Explorer. This didn't deter BNB from launching a new cross-chain feature focused on stablecoins. And you'll recall that there don't seem to be too many stablecoins on BNB, besides Binance's own pegged stablecoins, of course. It seems that BNB is working to remedy this situation by making it easier to bridge legacy stablecoins. And this includes other tokenized crypto products such as Wrapped BTC, which also expanded to BNB in September. So far, 7 WBTC have been bridged to BNB, which is a good start. Then again, some would say that it's best it didn't start at all. You may have heard that there have been concerns around WBTC ever since Tron's Justin Sun got involved. More about Tron and Justin Sun over here. Moving on. Now, all of this ties into BNB's price action, which has been one hell of a roller coaster. And funnily enough, our last review about BNB from June 2022 seems to have marked the bottom. And as you can see, though, BNB nearly revisited those lows in the second half of last year due to the Binance lawsuit and regulatory crackdown. After the settlement in November, BNB rallied by more than 3 times, which is seriously impressive given that BNB is already a sizable crypto. I mean, it's literally the 4th largest crypto by market cap and 3rd if you exclude USDT. And BNB's impressive performance seems to be because it has lots of demand drivers and utility. In addition to transaction fees and staking on BNB, it's used on Greenfield, OPBNB, and 3 other Layer 2s that have launched on BNB. And more importantly, BNB continues to be used in Binance's ecosystem, primarily as a means of participating in Binance's launch pools, which are kind of like de facto ICO offerings. Moreover, a portion of all transaction fees on BNB are burned, and over 18 million BNB have been burned since we last covered the project. That works out to more than 10% of BNB's circulating supply during that time. And I'll quickly note that BNB also conducts quarterly burns, and not just the fee burns. Speaking of which, these burns could explain why CZ seems to hold so much BNB. The initial 40% allocated to Binance's founders has become a bigger part of the pie as more BNB has been burned. As some of you will know, BNB burns will continue until its supply is 100 million, and it's currently at 145 million. When you combine this with the fact that BNB technically has no inflation, it creates a favorable supply side to its economic equation. And, as I just mentioned, the demand side is incredibly robust due to all the use cases inside and outside of BNB's immediate ecosystem. It's no wonder BNB is as big as it is. The only thing we're wondering is whether that massive cup and handle pattern is going to play out. As you can see, this pattern has been painted over a 3-year period, and if it plays out, BNB could rally above $1,000 per coin. And that would translate to an over 6,000 times return for the ICO investors. For anyone getting involved now, though, it would only translate to a gain of around 70%. This is incredible relative to traditional assets, but it's meh by crypto standards. It's also hard to see how BNB could grow much bigger, considering that this rally would give it a market cap of almost $150 billion. Believe it or not, but BNB's potential could depend on whether CZ actually holds as much as some analysts have claimed. If he does indeed hold 64% of BNB's supply and continues hodling, this will restrict BNB's tradable supply by 2/3. Put simply, it would make it possible for BNB to pump by more than you'd expect. When you realize that CZ probably also holds billions of dollars of other assets and potentially sees BNB as the evolution of Binance from CeFi to DeFi, it seems likely that he would continue hodling indefinitely. Still, some would say it would be best not to have to bet on what the founder of a project will do. This fact is why we don't think BNB will pump by more than 2 to 3 times from here, and that's roughly how much BTC could pump between now and the end of the crypto bull market, and it's safe to assume that BNB will see gains that are at least as big as BTC. Again, objectively good gains, but they could be better. One way to maximize these BNB gains is to use the Coin Bureau deals page. It's got trading fee discounts of up to 70% and sign-up bonuses of up to $100,000 on the best crypto exchanges. And these will help you squeeze every drop out of a crypto's rally, but only if you take advantage of them before they're gone. The link will be down in the description. Now, whether BNB can pull more than a 2 to 3 times ultimately depends on its upcoming milestones. The first milestone that needs to be mentioned is the launch of a 4th BNB product, and that's ZK BNB, another scaling solution. It was announced back in October 2022, and it still seems to be in the works. As a fun fact, Ethereum creator Vitalik Buterin believes that ZK rollups will become the gold standard for Ethereum scaling. You see, right now though, Ethereum's most popular layer 2s are all optimistic rollups. This is probably why BNB has put ZK BNB on the back burner and launched OP BNB first. Whatever the case, BNB's second set of milestones relates to OP BNB. A scaling roadmap was published last November, and it notes that OP BNB aims to scale to 10,000 transactions per second and reduce its gas fee by 10 times in Q3 this year. It seems these milestones were reached just a couple of weeks ago. BNB's third set of milestones pertains to its ongoing merge between the Beacon chain and the Smart chain. Per the BNB Fusion website, there are just 2 stages left before the merge is finally complete. And these will include multiple milestones, most of which involve moving assets from the Beacon chain to the Smart chain and then shutting down the Beacon chain. The BNB merge will be completed by mid-October. Newsflash, that's another bullish milestone that could take BNB to new all-time highs. And this ties into the fourth milestone that seems to be implicit to BNB's recent blog posts, and that's the official launch of the BNB Foundation. For those unfamiliar, BNB is currently being developed by a company called BNB Chain Innovation Limited, which seems to be based in Dubai and Hong Kong. In recent months, the BNB Foundation has been noted as being responsible for doing things like BNB's quarterly token burns. The only information we could find about the BNB Foundation is a LinkedIn profile which hasn't been archived. And this suggests that it's new and that a foundation is therefore in the works. With a bit of luck, this will make it easier for BNB to list on more exchanges, namely in the US. A fifth set of milestones for BNB and its ecosystem of products can be found in a blog post from January this year. There are too many to mention here, and most of them are quite technical in nature. The only one worth pointing out is the third version of BNB's parallelized EVM, which will increase its scalability, of course. The same blog post also includes areas of focus for BNB in 2024, and they include everything you'd expect: DeFi, GameFi, SocialFi, AI, Deepen, etc., etc. It goes without saying that this doesn't tell us very much, but BNB's recent event at Token 2049, however, that certainly did. It revealed exactly which areas BNB is focused on, and these are stablecoins, payments, real-world assets or RWAs, and to a lesser extent, BTC-Fi, that's DeFi that leverages BTC. And this would explain why BNB's most recent developments have related to stablecoins, and why BNB is even trying to integrate with Telegram to leverage its user base of almost 1 billion monthly active users. If you watched our Toncoin review, you'll know that it's also been integrating with Telegram, and that's part of why we're so bullish on Ton. And this makes sense given that Toncoin was originally created by Telegram. But BNB trying to go the same route to secure mass adoption, however, that doesn't make as much sense. And this brings me to the challenges that we foresee for BNB. And the first challenge is centralization, or rather, the perception that BNB is centralized. Now, to be clear, BNB is decentralized at the technical level. It is operated by 45 independent validators. The addition of Greenfield made it even more decentralized. But when it comes to BNB holdings, however, it can be argued that BNB is centralized. Even if CZ doesn't hold as much BNB as some analysts have suggested, the fact that he's believed to hold a large amount probably makes big investors uneasy about BNB. And this could explain why there aren't many stablecoins on BNB. And this ties into BNB's second challenge, and that's adoption. Now, BNB fundamentally owes its success to the fact that it was the exchange chain for Binance, and this made it easy for lots of users and capital to flow from Binance to BNB. However, it seems that this has been happening a lot less these days. The fact that Binance is now under new leadership and subject to oversight by US authorities could mean that BNB is playing a smaller role than it used to. In fact, it's possible that Binance could explicitly distance itself from BNB, as CZ is reportedly banned from being involved in Binance in any capacity. And this relates to BNB's third challenge, and that's competition from other layer 1s and even other layer 2s. In case it wasn't clear enough, BNB leverages the EVM for smart contracts, and this makes it one of the so-called Ethereum killers, and it's part of why BNB performed so well during the last crypto bull market. This time around, however, it's not Ethereum and the Ethereum killers that are in the spotlight. It's Solana and the Solana killers. And this is for many reasons, but they can be summed up as usability and speed. Make no mistake, this is something BNB has been focused on, but it's arguably falling a bit behind. And this pertains to BNB's fourth and final challenge, and that, of course, is regulation. Now, BNB's apparent attempts to paper over the past with a chain merge and efforts to decentralize with the possible launch of a non-profit suggest regulation is top of mind for the team behind BNB. As such, it should be top of mind for us too. At the same time, though, there's currently nothing to suggest that BNB is at risk of a regulatory crackdown. On the contrary, it seems to be off the hook in the US, and its continued association with Binance makes it a way for investors to bet on the world's biggest crypto exchange by proxy of sort. And this is why we believe BNB will perform well during this crypto bull market, despite these challenges. Whether it will perform better than other similarly sized cryptos is another question entirely. I mean, the honest answer is that similarly sized cryptos like Sol could have more potential than BNB in percentage terms, at least. But if there's any mega cap crypto that has the potential to surprise to the upside at this stage, well, it's definitely BNB. Okay, that's all for today's video. If you found it informative, smash that like button to let us know. And if you want to stay informed about promising altcoins, then subscribe to the channel and ping the notification bell as well. And if you want to inform others about BNB, then be sure to share this video with them. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Nick, out.